Hi, this is Vic. In this tutorial, we will look at variables in Java. A variable is a storage location that has an associated name. This name is known as identifier, and a variable contains some value. Now suppose we have a variable named var, which contains 346 as a value. Now to represent it in the memory, let's assume this is the memory section of your computer and each box is a storage location. Now the variable will point to some random memory location and will contain 346 as a value. Now let's look at some variable types. Now the variables can be of many different types, like a string variable that will contain text, and an integer variable or a double variable that will contain whole numbers or the decimal numbers respectively. So let's see different variable types. So in this part we will be covering string, integers and doubles, and the other data types will be covering in the next tutorial. So for now we'll be focusing on these three only. Now I am assuming that you have read the OOP concepts at firstlearner.com for clear understanding about the objects part. Now everything in Java is an object except for the primitive data types that will be covered in the next tutorial. Now let's jump to the coding section where I will show you the use of these variable types, that is the string, integer and the double. So this is the same project that we have built in the last tutorial. Let's make a new class in this package, that is new Java class, and name it as variable demo. And to follow the convention, I'm calling this com.firstlearner.programmingbasics. It is the website name in reverse, that is firstlearner.com and com.firstlearner. Now clicking on finish will create a class and the package method with writing psvn and pressing a tab. So first we'll be starting with the string data type, that is write string within capital S because it is a class and we are making a string object, and the name I'm giving is a str, string str. So it's a declaration part, so I'll give a comment as declaring a string object. Now assigning a value to this, the string values are assigned with a double quote. Let's say ABC and put a semicolon to tell the compiler that this statement has ended. Now let's see by printing it to the console what str stores. So let's run this program by pressing Shift F6. As you can see, ABC is printed. One more thing that we can do is combine this assignment and the declaration part and make it a single statement by removing this and giving this value string ABC, and let's see what result we get. See, we get the same result. And now let's see what happens when we are reassigning the value of string with 1 to 3. And now let's run this. Now here you can see the value is 1 to 3. This is because the first string is given the value ABC, then it is reassigned, that is it is overwritten by the value 1 to 3, and we are outputting to the console by using the println method, that is print line method. Now to actually append 1 to 3 to ABC, we have to create another string, that is string, and make it give it a different name by giving str1. So these are two different strings, and we can concatenate it by using a plus, str plus, give a space in between by a double quote containing a space, and str and str1. Now let's see what results we will get. See, ABC space 1 to 3. Now the concatenation is possible, but do keep in mind that we can't actually apply arithmetic to a string. Even though we are using 1, 2, 3 in string, it is not a number, it is still a string. So to do arithmetic, we need to have a number type, that is an integer or a double, and other numerical types Java have. Now let's see the usage of integer. Now integer, let's say I equal to 10. Now we'll pass out I and let's see what we get. Shift F6 gives us the result 10, and this is the previous result. Now we can actually create a string that can have an integer with it. What I mean is, let's say here str, and we'll make it str plus I, and when we output it, what we get is Shift F6, and the output we get is ABC without any space 10. As you can see, this here the I is converted to a string when we are assigning it to a string. So this is the power of a string. We can actually convert anything to a string by just concatenating it in the string. Now let's remove these statements and let's see some arithmetic in action. Now I is equal to 10 plus 10, and let's S out it I and Shift F6 to run, and here we can see we get the result 20. That is what we are expecting. And now let's see if we do an arithmetic in string, what happens. str1 is containing 1, 2 and 3. Let's say str1 plus I. So let's see what the result will be. Shift F6 to run, and oops, I haven't actually used the S out here. Let's S out str1 and then Shift F6. Here you can see it's not actually doing any arithmetic. It is plainly concatenating the two stuff, that is 1, 2, 3, and concatenated with the 20 that we have in I here. So do keep in mind, if you want to do arithmetic, you have to have a integer or any other numerical type to have arithmetic operations done. Now let's get to the double part. Let's remove this and get to the double part. Double are basically used in the decimal points where we need precision values. Double, let's name it as D equal to 346.987. It is any random value, and I out it. So what we are getting is Shift F6 to run, and we are getting this value. Now let's do some arithmetic with it. Now here we have D equal to 346.987, and let's add I to it, that is an integer. Now you might be wondering, is it possible to add an integer and a double? Yeah, it is possible, because both are numeric types, and we'll get the result. And here the integer will be actually promoted to a double value, which this type promotion will be looking at the later part, where I will tell you about the type casting and type promotions and all. So you need not worry now and just go with the flow. Let's Shift F6 to see the result. And here you can see 356.98. that 10 is incremented here. As you can see, this is 346 and this is 356. So there are many other data types available in Java, that is short, and many others. We'll be looking at those in the next tutorial, and looking at primitive types there, and also the type wrappers that are actual objects. So this is all for the tutorial, and hope you get some knowledge about data types, and in future it will be quite useful for you. So you may also read more about the data types. They arrange the width at firstlearner.com. That will be quite useful for you in actually implementing the right data type in your program. Now this is all. See you next time.